T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Yeah. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.
Yeah, I think Sunday just got a new theme song. Sunday football. You gotta
Hell yeah.
We talking about sports theme song there, going into Sundays now. What's up, guys?
How's it going, man? Ready for some football, baby?
Ready for some football. It's finally here. We got the Thursday night game out of the way. We got the full slate of games for Sunday. Did y'all catch the game on Thursday? Did it live up to y'all's expectations? I know the spread might have led some people to think that it was going to be a blowout, but that wasn't the case. Justin, you're the Cowboys fan here other than me wearing my 88. What do you think about the game, man?
Well, if you were watching the We Talking About Sports podcast, me, Ben, and Ron pretty much called that right down to a T. I gave out that the spread would be covered. Ben gave out, what's his name, the receiver, CeeDee Lamb over the yardage mark. I gave out Zeke unders. We called it exactly right. It's what I expected. It over-delivered for me as a Cowboys fan. I said this would be our barometer, our measuring stick to find out what kind of team we're going to be coming into the season because you're playing the Super Bowl champs. That's the measuring stick. That's who you want to be. You want to be in that Super Bowl game. And honestly, we're not too far off. The defense has improved. We saw that. There's still something in the interior. DeMarcus Lawrence was excellent. Tyron Smith was excellent. The run game needs to happen. I didn't expect it against that front six. You know, that's probably the best front six in all of the NFL. But over-delivered. I'm glad to be back Sunday NFL football. It's a good feeling. I was having a conversation with a friend. I said, summer or fall, what months are better? And I have to admit, fall's better, man. I mean, you got football. What better, thing can you have,
Yep. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, the Cowboys game, I think it over-delivered, honestly, for the expectations that we had. I think everybody had the Bucs kind of cakewalking over the Cowboys, especially with the injury to Zach Martin. And the big question mark was, the number one run defense, would they get Zeke going? I know we emphasized that a lot on the podcast prior to the game. Zeke didn't get going, but, man, an all-time performance, I think, for Dak. Sucks that it was in a loss, but you do have to tip your hat to Dak, not playing any preseason games, coming back from injury, and he let it fly. He let it fly. It was impressive. I saw a lot of Cowboys fans very upbeat and looking forward to the future after the Thursday night's game, Friday morning on the timeline, and I can understand it. It always sucks starting off 0-1, but it was the Super Bowl champs. It was Tom Brady on the road, and it came down to the wire. So, yeah, you got to tip your hat to the Cowboys. We still haven't seen the Washington football team play today, but Cowboys should win that division, man, if they can stay healthy. They looked good.
The only downside of playing on Thursday night is you get to Sunday and your team's not going to play, and you have, you're not rooting for a team at that point. You just want to see what's in the division. But, yeah.
No eres penal. That was
What's crazy is how many turnovers the Cowboys were able to get and still not come out. I mean, didn't they win the turnover battle by
four turnovers?
Yeah, Dak only had that one interception, which was a CeeDee Lamb, bobble in a way.
Yeah, that was on CeeDee. It wasn't on Dak. You go +3 in the turnover battle, and that's a game that you expect to win with your quarterback throwing over 400 yards. So, not ideal, but I understand the optimism of Friday morning from Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I agree. We are rooting against teams, but I do have money on Washington today, so I don't want them to lose.
Yeah, I took Washington too, but just to recap the game real quick from my perspective, man, Dak balled out 42-58, over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Amari and CeeDee Lamb, if you guys had any of them in fantasy, they're going to be 1,000-yard receivers for both of y'all, or for whoever has them going on. I'm not too worried about Zeke, though. Justin, I think you cleared it up perfectly. Best front seven in football. Especially when you add, I'm going to blank out on his last name, or I mean his first name, Vea, the defensive tackle. Vita Vea from the Buccaneers. That guy's a force, was disrupting the backfield single-handedly a lot of times. And then you pair him up with Sue, just a pretty good tandem down there on the defensive line. Vita. But yeah, that was one of the big standouts for me. And of course, at the end of the game, I know nothing comes down to one play, but this is the second season opener that the Cowboys are the victim of the refs. In 2020 against the Rams. Before I get into that, thank you, Jerry, for pointing that out. Zeke was killing it in pass protection.
You did mention that on Friday, and it's kind of a weird thing to be excited about, but the fact that you all weren't able to do anything running. And a lot of Dak's success was because of Zeke's pass blocking. He was picking up that linebacker. He was picking up that last guy.
He's complete. He has the blocks.
He didn't whiff on any of those. That was impressive. But Zeke, bro, when he had that safety, that corner one-on-one, I mean, that's usually dead meat. Like that's barbecue chicken.
The thing is, he didn't have the leverage because the cut he took. So if he was just running it straight, I think he gets over him. But he took that cut, and there's no leverage at that point. But honestly, to me, that's on the tight end. You got to finish the block.
It's one-on-one, bro. It's one-on-one.
One-on-one against the backup safety, and you gotta get to the pylon there and get the touchdown for your team. But
let's get on to today, though.
Really good game. Enough of Thursday. Just wanted to recap it. I'm wearing the Cowboys.
You can tell us Cowboy fans are still high.
29-31. And before I even move off, second year in a row, the refs house the Cowboys, not calling the pass interference last night or on Thursday, and then the pass interference against Michael Gallup on Jalen Ramsey last year. But anyways, enough. Let's get on to why we're really here. It's Sunday. This is our first Sunday show. We're going to go through everything that we possibly can in an hour, from the weather to the injuries, how that implicates your fantasy football team and some of your wagers that you have going on. And we're also going to share some wagers for you guys. If y'all have any questions about games that are coming up or injuries or starts or sits, go ahead and send them in on the comment box, and we're going to go ahead and get to them. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's the weather report. It's the WTBS weather report here. I'm not Tim Smith. I'm going to do him a disjustice if I try and get into the details here, but up here on the screen, we have a couple of games that are played in the domes, so you're going to be able to ignore those. The only game really here that I can see that could potentially turn into rain is maybe that Bills and Steelers games. And then the Bills and Steelers, and then you're going to want to pay attention to the wind on some of these games. That could implicate the total. The higher the wind goes, harder it is to pass the ball. So you're going to want to look out for the Chiefs game against the Browns. I know a lot of people are probably going to be on that total. And then the Broncos and Giants game. That's just sounds like an under, saying those two teams together. And then you add in some of that wind, maybe that implicates it. But no real weather stuff to look out for from what we can tell here. And as always, on the Dome, it's free game. But moving on, everybody is always wanting to know who's injured, who can they count on, what's going on here with my guy. Is he going to make it for week one? What's going on? And here we have it. It's a WTBS injury report. We're going to go ahead and knock out some guys that are already out. The Ravens, half of their team is pretty much gone, or a lot of the fantasy players on their team are already out when you consider J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards both tearing an ACL before week one. You add in Marcus Peters to that, who also tore his ACL on the same practice, the play after Gus Edwards did. And then you add in their third string running back, Justice Hill, and then Rashad Bateman. So I know Ben was in the chats on what was it?
I was about to ask the question. What do y'all think about the running back situation? Some people scrambled in fantasy football and went and picked up Tayshaun Williams. Other people went and picked up Latavius Murray.
Le'Veon Bell got picked up by some people.
I'm not going to mention Le'Veon. I think it's Latavius and Tayshaun Williams. Yeah. But I mean, Latavius Murray just got cut because he didn't want to take a pay cut, and he was set to get a $3 million bonus. So he's very game. Great Rice, no mamas. He's very game. What do y'all think? Are you all maybe flexing or RB2ing either Williams or Latavius Murray, or are you kind of just steering clear of that?
From what I'm hearing, Tyshawn Williams, or whatever his name is going to be the guy that gets the opportunity. That's what Harbaugh said. He said that he's done nothing but impress them throughout camp. So off the bat, it would probably be him. But, I mean, you got to look at Latavius Murray in the year that he had last year. He's coming off of the best year of his career. So I think Latavius is going to find himself in a couple of people's lineups as a flex throughout the year for sure.
Definite goal line threat. I agree with you. I like Latavius.
Just an update to this injury report. We came out with this injury report Friday. This is based on Friday's spread.
Thank you for clearing
But
that
as of today, Saquon Barkley has been cleared. He will be playing, Mark, I believe the whole game. So
they said
take that into consideration. He's good to go.
There we go. So Saquon will be in. Justin just said no snap count. So if he's good to go, shouldn't be a snap count. So
for me, I'm still worried about Austin Eckler. He was listed questionable, and he has not been removed from that questionable status. So me and Jesse, I know, have him. So
Austin Eckler, and it's the same thing that hampered him last year with the hamstring injury. So that is definitely something that you want to pay attention to. Odell Beckham, another guy that they just cleared. He is going to play. He was questionable all week, but he should be there. Take that back. They're going to see how he does in practice. I got him confused with somebody else. They're going to see how he does in warm-ups. He hasn't taken a hit all through preseason, all through camp. So that's the one thing they're worried about. So they want to see how he looks throughout warm-ups today. Saquon, as Justin just said, he's good to go. Evan Ingram is out. Curtis Samuel, I know he has a lot of guys hoping to maybe be a flex for him or for them throughout the season. He just got added to the short-term IR with a groin injury, so he's going to be out a couple of weeks. Look for Scary Terry, Antoine Gibson, guys like that, and Logan Thomas, to take advantage of those targets that are going to be left on the board. Austin Eckler, Justin just covered that. Emmanuel Sanders is still questionable, the wide receiver 2 for the Bills. Eric Fisher, you're going to want to pay attention to that. It's questionable for the Colts.
He's going to get those looks.
Left tackle. So that's going to be Carson Wentz's blind side. We all know that's important.
We got to highlight that, Roland. Real quick, Jerry says, can we just give up on Evan Ingram? When you said that Evan Ingram was out again and it's only week 1, I mean, this guy, everybody's always talked about his potential, his ceiling. We saw it in college. He even flashed a couple of years in NFL. He was a top fantasy pick tight end for a while, always injured. I don't think that you can rely on the offense. I agree. I think that we can give up on Evan Ingram.
You can give up on Evan Ingram, especially now that you consider that they have a viable guy to go to when he is hurt, and that's Kyle Rudolph. They signed Kyle Rudolph in the offseason. So, Ingram, I haven't touched him ever since he came.
Evan Ingram, the only way he's a beast is in Madden because he's that tight end with high speed. That's
he's just a Madden guy. Yeah, he's just a Madden guy. And then one big implication, too, for fantasy, I think more than anything, is Trey Waynes, cornerback number 1 for the Bengals. He's going to be out. So if you're a Justin Jefferson owner, you're going to be Eli Apple's going to be there. So Trey Waynes is out for the Bengals. Any other injuries that I might have missed or glanced over that have come up, please put them in the comments and we'll go ahead and get to them. But moving on. That's the injury report. We just went over the weather, so you guys know who's going to be in and out. And let's move on to the fan mailbag. So what we're going to try and do here is we're going to take questions from the fans as far as starter sits at your flex, starter sits anywhere really. And then we also want to open it up to, we'll get to it with Wally's comment, just more like conceptual things. And if you have any maybe drama going on throughout your fantasy league, go ahead and let us know, and we'll discuss it here. So without further,
if you want to rag on your commissioners, this is the place to do it, baby.
Yeah,
Bring
exactly.
the fantasy court. You know, we talking about sports. If you got a commissioner that's trying to veto a trade or some shit, bring him to fantasy court, man. Judge Ben, I'll come down with a ruling, baby. I guarantee you that. And then we're going to carry on.
Carry the hell on. We're going to carry the hell on. But without further ado, it's a fan mailbag. Let's start with Josh, the first one up here. Start, flex, or bench Okay, start flex.
We
or
already
bench.
fucked that one up on Thursday, Roland.
That's true. Rojo's there, so never
I
mind. Moving
fucked
on.
that one up on Thursday. I told him to go with Rojo too. And
Rojo ended up with minus points.
Let's just talk to Josh about Rojo and maybe Rojo owners. Is Rojo done? Is Rojo a guy that we need to give up on? The problem last year was his fumbling, and we know Bruce Arians has a short leash. He really was kind of done with his shit last year, to be honest. Playoff Lenny came out in the playoffs. So are we just out on Rojo, or do you think that he still has life on that Buccaneers roster? They do have Giovanni Bernard as well.
I'm off on Rojo. He's a guy. He's talented, obviously. He's a guy from USC. They have had a lot of hope for him the past few years, but he can't seem to get over the fumbling. He's supposed to be the more reliable between Fournette and himself in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield. You can't really trust him too much to do that too on a consistent basis. So that's why it's going to be Fournette and Bernard going down the road.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to play games with Rojo anymore. I'm not saying go out and drop him because obviously you probably spent like a mid-round draft pick on him, so you want to see something in the coming weeks. But I'm out on him. I'm where David is here. Gio's going to be the next James White for Brady, and we already saw it a little bit on that last drive. So yeah,
I would
I'm out
drop
on
Rojo just for making me look like an idiot. I told Josh, start Rojo. I think that they're going to get some goal line looks. Leonard Fournette didn't get in, but it was all Leonard Fournette after that stupid fumble by Rojo.
Yeah, you're not the only one that was high on Rojo this past week. I know a lot of people that were going there. So then we have another question from another Twitter user. It doesn't have a picture on here, but I'm just going to go with the question. So Myles Gaskin or Mike Davis, start or sit, running back 2 PPR?
That's a good one.
What do you think, Ben?
I think I've been telling Camarada, friend of the show, Bull, I've been telling him I got to see it with Mike Davis in Atlanta, although that does have one of the higher totals of this weekend, and usually with the higher totals, obviously more fantasy points to go around, more points expected. So I'd be like going completely against myself by saying Mike Davis because it's a higher scoring game than Myles Gaskin against that, Patriots defense that I do think the Patriots get the win today. So I'm actually going to go against myself and go Mike Davis just due to the matchup for Gaskin.
Mike Davis, nice. And that's kind of where I lean too. I'm probably leaning towards Mike Davis. Myles Gaskin, though, I think Myles Gaskin is going to be the better running back throughout the year. But today, I like Mike Davis, and that's probably where I'll be going. Then another
I'm with
question.
Gaskin too. I think he's, being the main back, and we saw what an improvement he was for the Dolphins last year. I think he's the way to go.
So you're even going Gaskin week 1, Justin, over Mike Davis?
I would.
Okay.
Gaskin. Cool. All right.
Okay. And then moving on, we have one more here, and then I'll get to the comment that we have pinned. Mark Garza asks, wide receiver 3 in a PPR league. Do you go Darnell Mooney, Taj Boyd, or Michael Pittman Jr. As your wide receiver 3 in a PPR? I'll just start it off. I'm going Boyd out of those 3.
Out of those 3 guys, there's only one number 1, though, right? Only Pittman is a number 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no Hilton this week, too.
Can we name the number 2 for the Colts?
Pascal.
Paris Campbell.
Okay. Damn, y'all caught me off guard. You actually named them. That doesn't mean they're still not bums. They are bums. I think that it's got to be Pittman. I don't think that the Seahawks secondary is anything to, be scared of. And I think that they are going to have to throw the ball. Pittman's the clear number 1. I don't like Mooney in that matchup, and he's a number 2.
And he's a little shaken up this week.
Yeah, Boyd. I think it's between Boyd and Pittman. I could see some love for Boyd just because I see them playing from behind. We haven't heard good things from Chase, so you should get Boyd and Higgins action. But me personally, I'd go Pittman here. And I think that I'm playing Marky in this matchup where he's asking this. And I'm not lying, Mark. I would go Pittman because he's the number 1.
He's your direct matchup this week?
There.
That's a league that we're playing in.
He's giving you real advice, and he's your opponent might be so. He's giving you real advice. I
promise, Mark. I pinky promise.
That's a real friend right there. What about you, Justin? Who do you think out of those 3 guys?
It's Boyd.
Boyd for you?
Yeah.
Are you worried about Joe Burrow not really playing much and only throwing 1 pass in the preseason, or you think he's going to get right back to being fantasy relevant at least, or helping his receivers be relevant?
I think he'll get back though. The question again remains with the Bengals is that O-line. But I just have more faith in Burrow than I do Wentz at this point.
All right. Alrighty. And then moving on, we got one here that's pinned from Joe. Boyd versus Minnesota or Cooks versus Jacksonville. I'm assuming that's a flex in a PPR
I think
league.
this is a good problem to have right here. I think this is better than Pittman and Boyd. I think that Cooks and Boyd, I like Cooks personally. I know that I used to root for the Texans, but there's nobody else to throw there. There's nobody else to throw to, and Cooks has been a guy who has been able to produce year after year. Even last year, he had that stretch where, he killed it. He had over 1,000 yards again. So I like Cooks for the Texans.
Yeah, I'll go Cooks too, just because I'm not really too worried about the defense from Jacksonville, and he is, the only receiver there in Houston. I can't name the number 2 guy in Houston. I know I named him for Indianapolis, but I can't name him in Houston. So yeah, I would go Brandin Cooks there, Joe. What about you, Justin?
Marky, one time Pittman. You see, I'm being honest, Mark. I'm being honest with Pittman.
Where do you land on this one, Justin?
Between Boyd and Cooks, I think I'd go Cooks.
Okay. All right. And then we got one more here in the corner.
Concentrate, Roland. Can you see it?
Gabe Gonzalez. Yeah, he wants to know Josh Jacobs versus Kenyon Drake. Who would y'all pick for PPR? And then he follows it up with,
they share the backfield. They're in the same backfield.
Shit, I guess if I were to choose gun to head, I'd go Josh Jacobs, maybe.
I think you have to go Josh Jacobs there too. Yeah, it's Kenyon Drake's first game with the new team. We don't really know what to expect from him. He could be their goal line guy, but I would think in that scenario, go with Josh Jacobs as well.
Just?
Yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Hey, a couple things. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to finish off Gabe's last question. I was going to let Justin answer it because Najee's his guy. Is Najee a set it and forget it for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think he is. The only question again is that O-line has changed. The center's gone. Villanueva's gone to the Ravens. You just got to worry about that. But we saw what Najee was capable of in college. Those Alabama backs do translate for the most part. I think it's okay to set it and forget it with Najee.
There's with Najee, just based on where you drafted him as well. Like he was if you went receiver first round, he was probably your comeback pick, late in the second, when you're coming right back. So he's probably your RB1, but he's kind of a guy where you just have to start him and forget about it. You have to, This is what I was going to say. Edgar had that quarterback question, who to start, Baker, Cousins, or Fitz. Just breaking it down, you got to think Baker's going to be in a shootout with the Chiefs. Pretty high total set. You got Kirk Cousins, who Roland mentioned that, the Bengals' number 1 DB is out. Eli Apple is the number 1 DB in Cincinnati today. He will be trying to guard Justin Jefferson and if not, Adam Thielen. So I expect a big game from the Vikings offense, to be honest. And then Fitz, we know that he's down Curtis Samuel. Still got Scary Terry. He's probably the most gunslinger out of the three of the guys. But just based on the weapons and the game style that I expect, I think I would go Cousins personally. All plexiglass, Mr. Plexiglass.
I like Cousins. I think he might have the highest ceiling out of the 3. But I think the guy that you're going to be the safest with is going to be Baker Mayfield. Yeah. I don't think you're going to get less than 16 or 18 points out of Baker. Then that's what you need if you're going with these 3 options. You just need somebody that's not going to kill you. And I think Baker is going to be the safest bet for you. I think you can probably tack in 2 touchdowns for Baker, maybe 250, 270 yards, and probably won't. Hopefully he doesn't turn the ball over. But as Ben said, it's going to be a shootout. But I would go Baker Mayfield here, just out of safety.
Justin, who would you pick out of those 3 QBs?
I think it's just a 2-way race between Baker and Cousins, but I would probably lean Baker just because of the weapons he has. And like Ben said, that's going to be a shootout with the Chiefs. I just don't have a lot of faith in Cousins. He is a little bit of a gunslinger, and I think he get into trouble.
Alrighty. Well, that was the fan mailbag. We hope to do this every week. You guys send in your questions on Facebook, on Twitter. And like Ben said, if you have some sus stuff going on in your league with your commissioner and some vetoing of the trades, bring them to the court of law here. And Judge Ben will bring down the law.
Roland, Roland, real quick, do you just want to touch on Wally's question about the strategy at the
Yeah, my
flex?
bad. I didn't even.
So strategy at the flex, we know that some leagues, maybe you're in a standard league that doesn't do PPR at all. Maybe you're in a league that does 1 full point PPR, or maybe the league does half point PPR. But how do you all feel about the flex position? If I'm in a full point PPR, I always want to go with the receiver, but I also draft that way. I draft knowing, I want maybe a couple of guys that I can flex at wide receiver, just because you could catch a pass for a yard or two and you get a full point off of that one reception. So me personally, I like to go towards the wide receivers at flex in PPR leagues myself. Yeah,
wide receiver for me in PPR leagues, full point or half a point. I trend towards wide receiver, unless there's like a really I find myself having drafted 3 strong running backs based on where I was in the draft, but that's pretty rare. I tend to lean heavier on receivers. And I haven't played in a standard league in a while, so yeah.
Yeah, I think standard leagues are over, man.
Yeah, that's phasing out, I believe.
I was trying to not give in, and I'm still at the half point PPR in the league that I commission in. But it's kind of, I don't think you have to move from half point PPR, but it's full point PPR is pretty much the new standard now.
Yeah. I go full point PPR. All right, so let's go. Let's get on to the fun stuff here. So not only are we talking about fantasy, we're going to get into the spreads a little bit here. So this is our little betting segment. We're going to try and come up with a more creative name. I couldn't think of anything on the spot, but we're just going to call this a betting segment.
If Ron had showed up, I'm sure he could have thought up with something, but being sure Ron, Carla called it on our Thursday show. Ron don't even wake up to set his fantasy lineups. And shit, week 1 of NFL, he is at the beach. I'll cut him a little bit of slack. He's on a little mini vacay, but chingao, Ron. As quemado as they come, cuz. As quemado as they come.
Week 1.
The best part was last night he told us he'd be on.
Yeah.
It's all good, Ron.
Let's go. The thought that counts. All right, moving on. So we're going to start off here with, as you guys have heard, we've been talking about it on all of our podcasts for the past couple of weeks. It's the survivor pool that we were a part of, and we're trying to get everybody to join with. That's part of BetKing, eBet Online.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. That's pretty simple, and I like it. So we're going to
straight into the point, baby.
Straight into the point. We're going to have to give you a little cut off of the revenues. No, I'm kidding. So this is our BetKing survivor pool. This is what we're going to start every betting segment with, or we talking about bet segment with, as we're now calling it. And so for this week, we decided in our little group chat that we're going to go ahead and go with the St. Louis Rams. I'm looking at the old logo here. I'm looking at the old logo. My bad. It's the Los Angeles Rams. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But Los Angeles Rams against the Chicago Bears. I believe that is the Sunday night game.
Right?
Sunday night, right? So
the Rams are 7.5 point favorites.
7.5 point favorites. They play the Bears. They're starting Andy Dalton. As we all know, they've been talking about it all summer. Who's going to be quarterback 1 for the Bears? They landed on Andy Dalton. I think this is easy money for the Rams. You're going to put Ramsey on Allen Robinson. Darnell Mooney's already shaken up. That offensive line for the Bears that we've seen is not very strong. Yeah, I'm thinking the Rams are going to blow these guys out. Especially
it's pretty much a fate of Andy Dalton, to be honest. You got probably the top defense in the league last year. You got the top defensive lineman in the league. You got the top DB in the league. And he's going to be on Allen Robinson. So we might as well eliminate Allen Robinson from the damn game, to be honest.
He has not had much success against
you want some props? Take a Jalen Robinson under. With Andy Dalton throwing him the ball and Jalen Ramsey on him, Allen Robinson ain't going to be doing much. But we all play with BetKing, man. So they gave the podcast a survivor pool entry. We kind of hashed it out. We were between the Rams and the 49ers, guys? The 49ers against the Lions. We know that we played the Detroit Lions team total under as a podcast play. But we ended up landing on the Rams against the Lions, Jared Goff against the Rams, Matt Stafford against the Lions. It is, you might say, what do we expect from the Rams? It is Matthew Stafford's first. I don't think he played any preseason. So
he played a little bit, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay. Not much, but it will be his first true action with the Rams. everybody just expected it to be an upgrade. I think the defense and Andy Dalton, it was kind of if you went Rams or 49ers, which is what we came down to, I think that they both end up winning. But I like this pick based on the defense. Like Marky likes to say, and this is his team, defense travels, right? Defense travels. Even though Iowa's playing Iowa State, defense travels.
But yeah, I like the Rams. And the reason why, just to give you a little thought, why I didn't go end up with the Niners was just because I want to see Jimmy G in his first action back, first regular season action back. And he's a guy that's known to turn the ball over. So I'm just scared of Jimmy G maybe turning the ball over a couple times and getting the Niners behind. Although I'm not predicting that because, as you'll see later, I do like the Niners today too. But for the survivor pool, we landed on the Rams. So if you guys,
I think this is a good pick, by the way, Roland, because that gives us an option to fade the Lions a little bit later because we can't pick from the same team in a survivor pool. So
yeah. Good point. And you
when
guys
the Niners play the Lions, right? We'll come back around and pick the Niners that time.
Mm-hmm. And so $200 deposit gets you free entry into
and they match it.
We talking about or the Bet King Survivor pool, and they match it. So you're gonna have $400 of free of betting money.
But that's with the crypto bonus. You have to do crypto to get that match.
Okay, so there you go. They're running all kinds of promotions over there. Easiest way to get to them is on Twitter. To slide in the DMs, DM at BetKing Online, and use the code WTBS when you're talking to them, and they'll hook you guys up. So moving on. Let me find my slides here. Excuse me. Let's get to the picks. This is gonna be one of our favorite segments. We're gonna run a little something similar to the Super Contest. If you guys are familiar, the Las Vegas Super Contest, it's like the capping Super Bowl pretty much. You put in 3 plays against the spread each week. You hope they cash, and you track your record throughout the year. And at the end of the year, the guy who has the best record is the ultimate capper, I guess, in Las Vegas. But since we all can't get to Vegas, we're gonna do it here. If y'all want to join in, send them in the comments or hit us up on any of our socials, and we'll keep track of them.
If y'all right now want to comment your 3 plays, we'll keep track of it. They're going to be in the comments. We'll keep track of it. If y'all got 3 plays today against the spread, no totals. We're doing ATS, against the spread only, no totals. So if y'all got 3 plays and you want to drop them in the comments, drop them, and we'll keep track of them as well.
Yeah. And this is completely, for fun and just for, competition amongst the pod. And
just some bragging rights every Sunday.
Yeah. All right. So I guess the way that we'll do this here is I'll let Justin, and then I'll let Ben, and then I'll go over my picks, and we'll just.
And then we'll let Ron go at the end.
Yeah, we'll let Ron go at the end and give his picks. So, Justin, walk us through your 3 picks, please.
I'll make it quick. The Rams was our lock for the survivor pool. I believe they get through the Bears with Andy Dalton there. I think he's gonna. It's make or break for him, like Ben said. As long as we don't see Justin Fields tonight, I think that's a lock to cash. Baiting the Lions here with the Niners, I think they're going to beat the crap out of the Lions. And I'm going to go Bills Mafia for Ben tonight. That's what I'm doing.
Early game.
I like that. All right, then Ben, I see you like these 3-point spreads.
It's lucky number 3, I guess, today, and it kind of sucks. I almost wanted to take a dog, and I see that you have one that started off as a dog and then turned into a favorite on your card. But for me, Minnesota, like we said, it's going to be a banged-up secondary for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow coming back off the ACL. They still have offensive line issues. You got to remember they ended up drafting Jamar Chase instead of an offensive lineman that tackled to shore up, Joe Burrow's blind side. I like the Vikings to get on track. Cincinnati ranked last in passing, and they ranked 29th in rushing. So I expect if you have any, Minnesota Vikings fantasy football players, I think that you should be starting them today. I expect the Vikings to win at least by a touchdown. Up next, I have the Patriots -3. This line was lower, and then Cam Newton gets cut. Mac Jones becomes a starter, and the line actually gets bigger for the Patriots. They're now -3 favorites. This is a division game in week 1. One thing that I'll point to this game is Flores is a Bill Belichick disciple over there with the Dolphins. Probably the best of the Bill Belichick disciples in the NFL. It's not like Greg Popovich where, if you're under the Greg Popovich tree, you go on and be successful. No, if you're under Bill Belichick, usually you don't do too well. And then when you play Bill Belichick, he takes care of you.
Mhm.
Yeah, he takes care of you. So this is a line. I don't like for -3 purposes in this contest, I think for wagering purposes, I would buy the half point and go to 2.5 for sure, because I could see it being a field goal game. But another play just thrown in here that I like is Damian Harris rushing prop for today over. I believe it's hovering in the high 50s, low 60s. I expect him to get at least 80 yards and a tutty today for Harris. And then my last pick is going to be the Tennessee Titans. They're playing the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, they have a great offense, but the defense is a big question mark. We know that the Tennessee Titans reloaded by adding Julio Jones. They even added Bud Dupree on defense, which I do like. I know he's coming off an ACL surgery, but honestly, I like the addition of him a little more than an age of J.J. Watt at this point. I think J.J. Watt's going to be great for their locker room and, just great to be on the other side of Chandler Jones. But as far as productivity-wise, we'll see what he has left for that division. I like the Titans in this one, and I think that the spread should be a lot higher, man. We got to remember Cliff Kingsbury is the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. We all had the Arizona Cardinals finishing last in that division. We had the Tennessee Titans winning this division. This is a game that they should have, and at -3, I think the worst we can do is push.
I like that. I think the Titans is going to be a good pick today. I'm not very high on the Cardinals and Kingsbury, as you guys know from our NFC West breakdown. Well, but getting to my picks, I'm going to make them quick too. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars -3. This is the toilet bowl. They're playing against the Houston Texans. I'm not expecting much out of the Texans. They got Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. Their running backs are a combination of Phillip Lindsay, David Johnson, and the receivers, they only have Brandin Cook. So I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence to get his NFL career started off with a victory. I think they have a little bit more continuity, a little bit more weapons on offense to utilize, and that's where I'm looking, because I don't think the Texans are going to be trying to win too many games here. They're going to find themselves in the number 1 pick sweepstakes. So I'm going to the Jacksonville Jaguars -3. Patriots -3 against the Dolphins, also from many of the same reasons as Ben pointed out. And I just love the Patriots offensive line. I think the Patriots offensive line is going to help Mac Jones develop so much quicker in the NFL, because he's going to be able to actually process things, go through his reads, all because of that outstanding offensive line. So I'm going with the New England Patriots -3. And then this one, I like this play a lot. There's been a lot of line movement on this one. Washington started off as a 1-point dog. You see it here posted as Washington -1. That is the Washington football team against the Los Angeles Chargers. As Justin pointed out during our injury report, Austin Eckler has been hampered with a hamstring all week, injury that kept him out of a lot of the games last season. And I know Curtis Samuel is an injury. Yeah, he's supposed to be their wide receiver number 2. But that injury news came out and the line stayed around -1. There was no adjustment to it. So not expecting that to be too much of a detriment to Washington football's team or to their chances winning. And I love their defense. I'm in love with the Washington football team defense, and they're at home. You get the West Coast team coming over to the East Coast. First
body clock. That's a body clock game.
Everybody loves Justin Herbert, but this defense for Washington football team is legit. So give me Washington football team to win. If you don't want to take the -1, take the money line. But for the pick'em contest here, I'm going -1.
Yeah, and Roland, just to piggyback a little bit, because I thought about making that a pick as well. I do like Washington at home. I like that, like you pointed out, their defense. It is going to be Chase Young against a rookie offensive tackle. So, I mean, I like my chances there. They're from the West Coast. It's not an easy flight all the way to D.C. for that game. You're starting a lot earlier than you would be. I understand that this game has been circled because it's week 1 of the NFL, so you are going to be up for it. I understand that. But Austin Eckler already has some injury issues. There's not many holes in that Washington football team defense. I think that they have the better coach, the Chargers with the brand new coach. You know, sometimes the new coaches, the travel plans are different than the previous coach. Players got to adapt to that, and they're going all the way across the country. I like that pick of the Washington football team today. And Scary Terry's going to eat with that news of Curtis Samuel being out.
Scary Terry, baby. It's going to be a good day for me. A good day for me. So those are the picks for the Super Contest. If Ron gets his picks in before 12, we'll go ahead and post them on our socials so you guys can have them. We won't post them if they come in after the fact. So that's it for the Super Contest.
I had a couple of trends that I took note of throughout the week. Whatever I read or whatever I listen to that I had, the Bengals only have 7 starters total returning. That was one of the things that went into
on both sides of the ball.
On both sides of the ball, total 7 starters returning. So that's one of the things that went into me making that pick, and they're mostly on offense because it is like the quarterback, the running back, and a couple of the receivers.
Add that to my card.
Yeah, the Jags, and this comes for the Jags and the Patriots. In this instance, the Jags, the first rookie quarterback favored week 1 since the 2003 Jags did it with Byron Leftwich. So the Patriots originally weren't favored when Cam Newton was there. I think it was a pickup game. Since Mac Jones got named the starter, they became favorites. So they, fall into this trend as well. But as far as the Jags, I mean, they were the last team to do it with Byron Leftwich in 2003. And now they're 3-point favorites against the Texans. That's a trend to look out for. Mahomes has covered every season opener ATS since he's been the starter. Obviously, they've all been with Kansas City and with Andy Reid. We know about the trend of Andy Reid off of a bye. Do we really count this as a bye because it's week 1? Technically, I don't, but the spread is up there against the Browns. Something that just kind of is kryptonite to that. The Super Bowl loser, being the Kansas City Chiefs last year, have only covered 4 times ATS since the year 2000. So that's 2 decades of data, and the Super Bowl loser has only covered 4 times.
It's a lot of volatility.
Do you know who those four teams were?
No, I do not know that. But I think that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid is the best combo out of those 4.
Yeah. I was going to say that's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are like an anomaly, or like they're out of that.
For sure, Brady and Belichick are one of those 4 teams because they've lost the Super Bowl twice, and I think that they're pretty good about covering week 1. And then the last one that I had for the people that like teasers, I know we're kind of fans of teasers. Teams covering teasers last year. So this was teams covering 6-point teasers last year. Bills 15-1 covering teasers. Dolphins 14-2. Seahawks 13-3. The Packers 13-3. The Saints 13-3. And the Giants 13-3. Every single one of those teams has the same quarterback returning this year. That is the most important position on the offense. So with 6-point teasers last year, those were those teams' records. I know that we might get into a little teaser segment in a little bit, but just something to throw out there for you.
I like that trend right there. I like that teaser trend. I saw that floating around on Twitter a few days ago. Oh, that's a good one.
And came with the notes, man.
I like that.
Eddie's question right here: Cooper or Ridley as your number 1? Just real quick for all of us.
The way that Cooper played on Thursday, I mean, I think I go Cooper now. You don't see that number 1.
We haven't seen Ridley play yet, though.
We haven't seen Ridley play yet.
That's the only data I have is that right now. So I got to go with what I have.
I probably keep Ridley at wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
still.
I definitely go Ridley, and I know he's only asking this because me and him had this debate going for like 3 days this week. So after the Cowboys' performance, but listen, the number 1 for the Falcons, they're going to be losing a lot, man. They're going to be losing a lot. Cooper. Roland, you alluded to it. I know I don't want to get back all the way back on the Cowboys talk, but you alluded to Cooper is still the number 1 for the Cowboys. Dez still has. I mean, Dez. I see the 88, and I think Dez. CeeDee Lamb still has to pump the brakes a little bit as a number 1.
Oh yeah, I mean he is in terms of being a wide receiver number 1. Yes, but fantasy wise, he's going to be a wide receiver 1 too. I don't think you pump the brakes on CeeDee Lamb as a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. I still think Cooper's the better receiver, but I don't think you pump the brakes on CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to be wide receiver 1 because you see that offense is going. They're not going to throw the ball 60 times a game like they did against the Bucs, but they are going to throw the ball a lot. I see Dak Prescott throwing over 40 times a lot this year.
Minimum, he'll get to 40 a game.
And that's enough to support 2 wide receiver 1s in an offense. It's going to be like what was it, Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders that year in Denver. 2 wide receiver ones right there. And I had a friend that year that had Peyton, Thomas, and Sanders. He drafted all 3 of those guys, and he won the league. Yeah, somehow won the league. Yeah. So Dak throws for 7,000 yards this season. He's on pace. He's on pace.
Jerry, hey, tell us you're a Cowboys fan without telling us you're a Cowboys fan, Jerry.
He was pacing right there. He was pacing it last year. So moving on, that like we said, we're gonna do this every week. We talking about sports. Super contest where we give our 3 picks against the spread, and we're gonna I want to add a trends slide like Ben brought up, because there are some trends that you want to keep track of. There's long-term trends, there's in-season trends that you want to keep track of. So we'll add that slide.
There's some trends
together and make a trend slide for
there's some trends that you don't even have to like that Andy Reid off of a bye is like that's like auto, you know.
Ben's
trends, we'll definitely get something going with some trends. I will be bringing some trends on Sundays because I think NFL is a lot of trends based. The teams, I mean, they're the best of the best, you know, as far as the players go. Some teams, yes, are going to be shittier than others, but as far as trends go, when the players pretty much equal each other out, I lean towards trends in NFL more than I do college football.
And we got one more start or sit. You flexing Juju today in the PPR. I think that question might have been for Wally, but we'll answer it here.
I think that Juju might be flexible just because White is going to be on Deontay Johnson, with Johnson being the number 1. So I would expect the other guys to eat a little bit. The Bills are going to be passing a lot. It's going to be a high-scoring game, in my opinion. I think that you could flex Juju, Carla, but at least give us like another option, like Juju or who, you know? I do think that Juju is flexible, but you might have a better option than Juju. So who is it between? If you can just comment and let us know.
Yeah, I would go Juju. I think he's going to be flexible too, like Ben just said, and he kills it in the underneath routes. He's not a burner. He's not going to take the top over the defense, but he's consistently been Ben Roethlisberger's check down or his safety valve as a receiver. So, that's the one that we need to be keeping track of right there, Edgar. The number of TikToks Juju and Chase Claypool we'll put together.
They win 5 minimum.
Yeah.
Hey, Joey, to answer your question, Bill O'Brien's last trade was trading me to the Bills. Conditional 12th round pick in 2030, but he got me the fuck out of there before they canned in.
What was your deal like? What's your contract like now?
No, it was like you've heard of 10 days. I was on a 5-day.
5-day deal?
Yeah, I was on a 5-day.
All right.
Top daily fantasy player. I haven't plugged in a lineup yet, but I do like Justin Jefferson a lot. Justin Jefferson or Scary Terry?
Yeah, I think that the names to look out for a receiver, I would echo Roland right there with Justin Jefferson, Scary Terry, and I like Raheem Mostert a lot at running back as well.
That's a good one. Trey Sermon inactive today.
Really? That's news to me.
Inactive.
So, yeah, Raheem Mostert, Raheem Sterling, the fucking soccer player. Roland, just GGMU right there, a little shout out. But Raheem Mostert, I think, must start this week. They are playing, like we said, they're playing the Lions. They should be getting into the end zone. And then without Trey Sermon, like Roland mentioned, Trey Sermon is that rookie, more of the goal line back. I think that Raheem Mostert's going to have a huge game. Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, Scary Terry at wide receiver. Yeah. I think those 3 guys are going to be monsters today.
And, Mostert, it's never been a question about talent or capability. It's just always been availability. Yeah, it's always been availability.
Jose alluded to that earlier. Availability is key. And for Raheem Mostert, he doesn't even need the 18, 20 carries. He just needs between 10 and 15, and he maximizes. I mean, he's that home run threat guy. And today, without Sermon, he might actually get those 17 carries if the game script goes their way with them winning the game. So I like Raheem Mostert a lot today in fantasy.
But I like that. I like that pick a lot. Justin, do you have a DFS player?
I'm not in DFS, so I wouldn't be able to help you with that.
Alrighty. No worries there. So then moving on. So we just gave out our against the spread picks. We do like to play teasers here. I'm going to show you a screen that I have a teaser. I don't know if we have a screen here. I haven't looked through the whole slide deck for Ben's teaser, but I know Ben does have a teaser. So
I do have a teaser. I don't have it on the screen though.
Okay. So then I'll add mine here. It's a 7-point teaser with our survivor pool pick, the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. When I plugged this in myself, I got the Rams at minus 0.5, and I got the San Francisco 49ers at -1 because I took the spread. I took it when it was the Rams minus 7.5 and the 49ers -8. So you can get that down, and pretty much it's a money line pick 'em right there, or almost like a parlay. So I went ahead and teased them both down to pretty much pick them, and that's my teaser for the day. A couple of teaser rules to look out for you guys, other than just making sure that they win, is you never want to tease through 0 necessarily. If you have a team that's like a 3-point favorite, you typically don't want to tease through 0. That kind of defeats the purpose of the 7-point spread. You want to clear key numbers with your teaser numbers. Like you want to clear 4, you want to clear 7, you potentially can clear 10. You want to clear these numbers that we see the games typically end in. Like a 3-point ending is the most common ending in the NFL. It's a 3-point game. So you want to make sure if you have a teaser, you at least clear that 3. So that's my 7-point teaser. I think Ben fell off the stream. So we're going to keep it going. Justin, do you have anything to add here? Do you like teasers? Do you typically plug these in on Sundays?
No, I don't like to play teasers, in my opinion, and this is just mine because maybe I'm not good at it. I think teasers are for suckers for the most part, so I stay away. But I know you found good success with them. I might have to just, tell you on these things. But no, teasers I usually don't play.
Yeah, man, teasers have been my bread and butter over the past couple of years. Last year was a bad teaser year because last year's just a crazy year, honestly. I think you can kind of throw last year out the window with a lot of the stuff that was going down with COVID, guys being hurt and whatnot. So you just saw a lot of crazy outcomes last year. But teasers over the past couple of years have been pretty lucrative for me. So hoping to get back to it here week 1. I see Ben's trying to get connected here. We're going to keep it going. But the other thing, though, that I like to deal with is a little money line parlay action. Do you got anything? I know you like to play in the parlay space, Justin. Do you got anything for us today?
Well, like you said, on this one alone, Rams and Niners, I think they're locks. I have to find out if I like another team because I don't know if my odds, with the juice is going to be low enough to play something like this. So I'll have to look at the odds for the most part, but I do think these two are for sure locks. I would have to add something on there because I still don't think within these two I bring anywhere near minus 170. Yeah, break even.
So I'm going to put one together here live on air for us here, and I'm going to make this my parlay of the day. It's probably going to be a little squarish. I'm not going to go over 3 teams. I don't want to get greedy. So I'm going to go Buffalo Bills at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't see them dropping that game. The odds that I have for that are minus 280. I'm going to get, let's see here. So I have the Bills and the other team that I really, really like today. So I'm going to tack on
I have Ben's teaser right now.
Okay.
So I can give that out while you get the parlay going.
Go for it.
Ben's teaser for the day, it's a 10.3 team teaser. That's Atlanta over 38.5, San Francisco plus 1.5, and Washington football team plus 8.5.
Nice. I like that. You clear 7 with Washington, especially if you think it's going to be a close game. That will come in handy. So I like that. Ben, Justin just gave out your 10-point.
Dude, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what the hell happened, but I like doing teasers like I gave out the trend earlier. I know that you went with the 2-team 7-point teaser, a little more conventional. These are called 3-team 10-point special team teasers. But yeah, I teased Washington over the key number of 7 to 8.5. I mean, even if they lose by 8 with that 2-point conversion, the hook saves me. The 49ers down to plus 1.5. Don't see them losing. I know that you had them in your teaser. And then the last one is that over in the Falcons and Eagles game. I don't think that there's any. Edgar, I was stealing the neighbors, and I guess he changed the password. He changed the password.
His phone hotspot.
Yeah, but so that's my 10-point teaser. The Falcons over the 49ers plus 1.5, and the Washington football team plus 8.5.
I like that. And we'll get that visual up next week for both of our teams.
Philly or Falcons? I think that let's just go over the slate real quick and give leans, Roland, where we think that the games are going to go, and we'll just finish off on that. So Philly and
Roland
Falcons.
was just going to give away his parlay real quick, and then
we'll I'm sorry.
Let's do this. Let's do this real quick though, because I'm still putting it together. So
I'll start off New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers.
Do you know the spread? Can we give out the spreads as well?
Spread is Panthers minus 3.5. Right
3.5. So I don't like that the hook is there. I do like the Panthers to win the game. The coaching matchup, I like both guys. Matt Rule being an old Temple coach and a college guy, and then we know that Saleh is now the head coach of the New York Jets. Because it's 3.5, I do like the half point. I expect them to win by a field goal. Them being the Carolina Panthers.
So you're on the Jets plus 3.5 then?
I'm not on them. I lean that way.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go Carolina Panthers. I think it's a big revenge game for Sam Darnold. I'm not high on him, but I'm not as low on him as a lot of other people are. So I think Sam Darnold's going to come and show up. And he's going to show his old team. You guys messed up. And yeah, I like the Panthers here. I would maybe add them to a little money line parlay action.
Roby Anderson as well. He was a New York Jet as well, so a little revenge game for him. But I agree. Money line parlay, yes. 3.5, no.
All right, let's move on. Pittsburgh Steelers, Buffalo Bills. Pittsburgh's plus 6.
Give me the Bills minus 6. I'm not trusting the offensive line just yet for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't like them on the road in Buffalo, Orchard Park. Yeah, give me Buffalo here minus 6. They roll.
Yeah, just homer pick. I'm going to go against the trend that I said. The Steelers. Believe I had a trend for the Steelers as well. I think I read it out, but them as ATS dogs. Week 1, they play out Pitt 14-3 ATS as opening day road dogs. So pretty good trend. I'm going to go against it. The fans in Orchard Park, Bills Mafia should be rowdy. Give me the Bills by a touchdown. Barely covering.
All right, let's Roland, did you give out your pick there?
Yes, I did. I was on the Bills. Bills minus 6.
All right, moving on. Niners and Lions. It's minus 9.5 towards the Niners.
9.5.
Let's move to 9.5.
Give me the Lions backdoor cover.
That backdoor. 49ers first half. The 49ers will be up by 7 for sure at halftime.
I like that first half. I like that play.
Yeah, 49ers first half. The line will be under 7. The 49ers will be up a touchdown at halftime. You can take that to the damn bank. But the back door could be open for that reason. Fuck, bro. It's so terrible.
We should never advise anybody. It's like those guys that were taking the Browns on their 0-16 season just because of the math and the numbers.
Right.
I'm never going to advise anybody to take the Lions plus 9. But for the sake of this show, I would lean the Lions. Don't bet this game unless you want to do like a money line parlay on the Niners.
No, yeah, tease the Niners down, but the back door could be open. But I don't take shitty teams. That's one thing. So I'm not going to take the Lions. I'll go with the Niners to cover. 9.5 is a lot, though.
If you got this earlier in the week, you got it at a lot less. So
yeah,
got to shop early. Moving on, Jacksonville and the Houston Texans. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 3.5.
Ooh, it moved to 3.5. Okay.
Give me the Texans with the hook.
Still give me Jacksonville. I think they'll win by shit. It's going to be, let me call out this score, 24-17, Jacksonville. Win by touchdown.
24-21, Jacksonville. Texans cover.
All right. Still a little low for the Texans. I appreciate that. Seattle Seahawks and the Indianapolis Colts. Seahawks minus 3.
This is the highest bet public game that there is right now in Vegas, with all the tickets mostly being for the Seahawks. It was from 2.5. It did move up to 3. A lot of these games are at 3 week 1, if you could see. It is week 1. I'm just Russell Wilson. I'll take him over Carson Wentz all day. There's questions, with the center that had the same injury that Carson Wentz had. Talking about Michael Pittman being their number one wide receiver. I just hope that Jonathan Taylor can get in the end zone this game. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm going to go – the game's in Indy.
It's
Yeah.
in Indy.
Give me Indy. Indy +3.
All right. Moving on. Arizona Cardinals at the Tennessee Titans. It's Tennessee Titans -2.5.
Yeah, I gave up the Titans at -3. I don't see how the line is that low. I expect the Titans to win by a touchdown at least.
I like Titans -3. I think maybe the only reason why it's so close is there's a lot of questions about the Titans secondary right now, and the Cardinals offense might not be the best team to go up against when you have those questions. But I still see a heavy dosage of Derrick Henry controlling this game. Ryan Tannehill is not going to turn the ball over, so. Yeah,
and Kyler Murray's talking about he's not going to use his legs so much. Yeah. He's going to sit in the pocket and throw. I mean, that's not something that you necessarily want to hear if you're a Kyler Murray owner in fantasy football, because you depend on his legs a lot. And if I'm having to bet against him and he's telling me I'm not going to run, then, hey, man, you're helping me out. You're helping me out.
I think him not running hurts the offense as well.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, if you're looking at the Cardinals.
For sure.
All right, moving on. Los Angeles Chargers and the Washington football team. Washington football team is now -2.5. They opened at +1.
They're -2.5 now?
They're -2.5 now.
Damn, I like that. Good for us. We grabbed that number early. Give me Washington football team. They're still going to win by a field goal.
I agree. Washington by 4.
Moving on. Minnesota Vikings at the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals +3 at the moment.
Vikings -3. I'm going to add that to my card. Ben put that on his super contest for the week. I like the Vikings. I'm just a little worried about Joe Burrow in his first game back. That's really what it comes down to for me.
Too many weapons for the Vikings, and although they do have a lot of question marks with, COVID and guys maybe not taking the vaccine in their quarterback, week 1, that should be no worry. Everybody's healthy. All games will be played today. Adam Schefter did tweet out this morning. No issues. All games will be played. No players are being held out. So the Vikings should take care of business here.
Moving on to this question. Next game up, Philadelphia Eagles at Atlanta Falcons. It's Atlanta Falcons -3.5 right now.
This is a good game. It's going
to be a good fantasy game too. I like Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles +3.5 here. Atlanta finds every way to lose the game. I know it's a new regime, different coaching staff and whatnot, but still give me the Eagles +3.5.
Yeah, well, the line I thought was -3. I guess it's moved up now with the hook. I do like the Eagles. Like Roland said, the Eagles will be in this game when it comes down to it at the end. They're going to have a chance to win. The one thing that I like here, I like Pitts. His receiving yards, I believe, is only at 44.5. Take the over on Pitts at receiving yards over 44.5. And whatever Calvin Ridley is, he's going over a hundo today. So I like Calvin Ridley receiving yards as well, over.
You're big on Ridley today.
Yep.
See that. Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. New England Patriots -3.5.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was on both of our cards. So.
Yeah, no need to.
Patriots, yeah. Now it's, if you got to buy the hook to go down to 3, I guess, but yeah.
All right, moving on. Cleveland Browns at Kansas City Chiefs. It's Cleveland. It's actually Kansas City -4.5.
What was that number, Justin? You broke up a little bit on my end.
Cleveland Browns at Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are -4.5.
Trends, baby. I'm gonna stick with Ben's trends here. Give me the Chiefs to cover.
Yeah, I don't want to overthink it, man. I really don't want to overthink it. These two teams did play in the playoffs last year, right? With Kansas City eliminating the Browns. It was a little bit closer than it should have been. It's going to come down to whether the Browns can run the ball or not. Give me the Chiefs. Give me Mahomes. Kelsey's going to have a big day. Kareem Hunt's rushing yards are in the 30s. That's going to be over as well. That's another prop that I like today. But give me the Chiefs by a tutty.
Moving on, Green Bay Packers at the New Orleans Saints. This game is not going to be played necessarily at home. It is a home game for the Saints, but I believe they'll be playing in Florida. Yep. It's a +3.5 right now for the Saints.
Who stops Devontae Adams, Roland?
I'm breaking. Take the Saints. Take here with the points. I like that defense that they have there in New Orleans. They're not playing at home, but for me, the Packers, other than Devontae Adams, don't have too many weapons, honestly. And I think the Saints are going to be able to marginalize Devontae Adams' impact on the game with their secondary. So give me the Saints to stick in the game. Famous Jameis is going to get off to a good start. I
lean Packers. I lean Packers.
I got to disagree as well. I go Packers. I think that they'll at least win by 4 points for sure.
Fellas.
Yeah, but just the movement of the game for New Orleans. I mean, what they've been having to deal with the hurricane. They're obviously it's a home game for them, but in Florida. I'm not even a fan of Florida. You all know I'm always talking shit about Floridians and their tendencies over there. So I don't think that the Saints are going to like it over there either. This is the first dance of Aaron Rodgers' last dance. So they will cover today.
I agree. All right, moving on. The Denver Broncos at the New York Football Giants. It's New York Football Giants plus 2.5.
Give me the Broncos to cover, man. Teddy Bridgewater. Let's go and behind that strong defense.
I got to kind of lean that way, but I'm hoping for a draw. I'm hoping for a tie. We took the Broncos not to make the playoffs. We took the under on the Giants. The best thing for us today would be a tie. I'm going to take the fucking tie.
I like that.
And we're moving on to tonight's game. Chicago Bears at the LA Rams. It's LA Rams minus 8.5 now. The line has moved.
Give me Rams 31-10.
All right, we took the Lions to backdoor, so we'll take the Rams to cover. But teaser, like Roland said, put the Rams and the 49ers together. 6 points, get them under 3, and just fucking put your feet up, man, and enjoy it. Straight up.
Monday Night Football, baby.
And we got Monday Night Football left. And I think this is a pretty good game for Monday night. I'm glad this is one of the openers. Baltimore Ravens versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders plus 4 right now.
I like the over in this game, personally. But give me the Raiders plus 4. Give me the Raiders plus 4 here.
I'm going to go with the Titans. I mean, the Raiders still can't stop the run game. The Titans, though. I'm going to go with the Ravens. The Raiders still can't stop the run game, and the Ravens are going to run the ball. I know that there's a lot of question marks about their backfield with all those injuries, but I do think I have high hopes for Latavius Murray, man. I really do in their backfield. I think that he's a vet. He's very playable. The Saints just didn't want to pay him because they are paying Alvin Kamara. The Ravens need a guy like Latavius Murray.
Who has more rushing yards this year? Lamar Jackson or the new running backs for the Ravens put together?
It'll be Lamar. I know me and you had that Dobbins and Lamar.
I won automatically.
No, you didn't win. It has to play game 1 of the season, Roland. You know that's always in the
you gotta make it to the season, man. You gotta make it part of the
I got the Ravens covering tomorrow, and it will be the first game with fans in that new LA stadium. Las Vegas stadium.
Beautiful stadium for sure. And before we move on from these picks, I do have my little parlay that I put together on air. It's Buffalo Bills, Carolina Panthers, and the Los Angeles Rams. I like that. It's plus money right there. You put down 100. Let's see here. 20.
Is that money line or against the spread?
It's all money line. All money line.
Money line
parlay. 3 teams. You don't want to get too greedy on these and add like 6 favorites. But
right.
Give me the Bills. Give me the Panthers. I like that game a lot. And give me the Rams in that to cap off the parlay. And you're going to be
just so you know, Niners, Rams, Bills gets you plus money as well.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. That's my parlay of the day, fellas. Anything else? It's about to be 11-11.
I'm about to go look at these fantasy lineups and make the final changes. The pit's been lit. Gonna get on the grill. Roland, you're heading this way or what?
Yeah, I'm headed your way, bro. As soon as I log off here, I'm gonna head your way. So I'll be there.
Flying over there too.
Probably like around 12.
Yeah.
I'll be there by kickoff.
We'll see you next weekend, Justin.
But yeah,
that's
guys,
all I got, man.
We're gonna do this every week. Hopefully, our fellow podcast member Ron will be with us next week. And if not, if anybody wants to get on the show, maybe for a little segment or two, give your picks or something, hit us up, and maybe you guys can get on for sure.
To give some picks, we'll be tracking the picks, y'all. Stay tuned. And if you gave some picks in the comments, we will review them.
Rick got 3 picks in.
Yeah, so Rick did give 3 picks. All right, badass.
Hit the super contest that we're doing here. Again, it's free and mainly just to keep track of. Hit the Bet King Survivor pool if you still have time today. And our friend Wally, he has a little against the spread pick'em contest.
Edgar, throw a Bet King some Doge, bro.
Yeah,
Get that $200 deposit. You're
There you
Doge
go.
daddy over there.
Doge daddy.
It's Elon and Edgar, bro. That
There you go.
the highest Doge holders. It's them too.
All right, you guys got any parting shots?
Nah, that's it. Go Bills.
Go Bills. There we go. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I got no player, no team today, so let's just pull for Ben's Bills.
Good luck in fantasy, everybody. Good luck in fantasy. And to all you guys that joined us, thank you. Honestly, appreciate it all. And hopefully you guys join us next week again.
Later.